Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your weekly Astro and Tarot forecast for the week of April 16th, 2018. As you can see, we're in a totally different environment today. This is my apothecary. Welcome. It is a little barren at the moment. That's because my shop update was last week. Most of the items were sold out and are currently in boxes ready to go out, as well as some of the items that I use in order to create the potions and creations that it is that I make. Also, last night was the Aries New Moon, and I was working on the Aries Intention Oil. Links for that are down below. But either way, the vibe and the energy of the space last night into this morning was just so good that I wanted to come down here and film. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about this week ahead. So the amount of change and transformation and transition that we're going to be experiencing at the start of this week, well, what I want to say is that this week starts a huge shift in energy, because some of our most major power players when it comes to the planets are changing their rotation. Saturn is going retrograde, Pluto is going retrograde, Mercury was retrograde, it's now direct, and then also at the start of this week we have the energy of that new moon, which we're going to feel the entire time of this entire week, and then some. Aries in general is the pioneer of all of the signs of the zodiac, and last few months every single one of us has been experiencing change and transition that has been molding us and shaping us and really kind of stripping us down and shaking us down. With Aries, this new cycle with this new moon finally begins. Not only is the season changing, but cosmically there's a huge shift. Aries in general is the pioneer and the start of a new cycle within the majority of our lives, because Aries is the first sign that begins the rest of the zodiac. This new moon, not only is it in the sign of Aries, suggesting this new breath of fresh air, and new moons in general want to kind of infuse newness and reflection and a new direction into our lives in a lot of ways and bring in new energy. This new moon was sitting on top of Uranus, the planet of unexpected developments, surprises, and innovation. Now, because this aspect is so spontaneous and unpredictable, what it does is it creates surprise, it creates change, it creates a shift that kind of shakes us to our core so that we see things differently, we experience things differently, and we hear different news that directs and moves us in a different way. Sometimes this isn't a huge change, sometimes it's a small change, sometimes it's focusing on your independence and looking at something differently, and then owning your personal power, and then finally taking those steps to break free from a certain situation, because Uranus wants you to be free. Uranus wants you to break out. I believe I just did a video about the Aries New Moon, so I'll put the links down for that below, because I talk so much about the energy of and what it is that what we're going to be dealing with. But for now, I want to move forward with the rest of the changes that are happening this week. The next thing that I really want to focus and highlight, and I want you guys to start, is on the 17th, Saturn goes retrograde. Saturn is the planet of confinement, restriction, responsibility, and commitment. Saturn is one of my favorite planets because it forces us to grow and to mature and to learn about ourselves and to rise up to become what we have been needing to be. We spend so much time setting intentions for ourselves and wanting to manifest greatness into our lives. If we ourselves are not great, and if we're not ready to take on and be responsible for the things that it is that we're trying to draw into our lives, even if we did experience it, and even if it did come in, we wouldn't be able to handle it maturely and to take care of it. This goes for everything. It goes for our career, our dream careers, it goes for our relationship, it goes for our health, etc., etc., our lifestyle choices. If we really are serious about the things that it is that we're asking the universe for and that we're setting our intentions for, Saturn retrograde challenges you on that and wants you to shape up and to grow up and to mature, no matter what age you are currently at this time, because we're always growing, we're always evolving. So I did also make a video about that, about Saturn retrograde. So you'll see the links down below. It's about 20 minutes long, I think, and I go into serious detail. So make sure that you don't miss out on that. Also on the 17th, challenging Saturn retrograde is the fact that Venus is sitting directly opposite of Jupiter. Now, in a lot of ways, people look at Venus opposing Jupiter as such a positive thing because we're so easygoing and so free-loving and affectionate and fun and optimistic, and you know, we're not so stressed out, we're not thinking about things so heavily, so serious. So of course, here I am living my best life, giving you guys all the astro knowledge that you need, and then my battery dies, but it's okay. So as I was saying, Venus rules relationships, love, money, aesthetic, beauty, is going to be sitting directly opposite of Jupiter, the planet of abundance and expansion. This is pretty good. It's pretty golden, but the problem that it creates is it makes us feel lazy. We're more apt to indulge. Our ambition is really low. Now, I don't see that as such a negative thing because this is a great day to allow yourself to kind of treat yourself, to spend, maybe go on a retreat, go on a vacation, have a margarita or two if you drink alcohol, maybe have a nice slice of cake, sit in the sunlight and just like max and relax. The problem is that Saturn is currently retrograde and was retrograde, or just went retrograde the day of Jupiter sitting directly opposite of Venus. Now, Saturn retrograde, like I said in the video, and the links for that are down below, Saturn retrograde wants us to kind of revisit and reassess our commitments and wants us to kind of work hard and to reconnect to our ability to work hard and our goals, the things that it is that we're striving to achieve and to accomplish now and forever, so for the rest of our lives, because Saturn rules that long-term investment and that long-term growth and advancement. Now, if you know yourself better, and when I say this, I want you to listen to your intuition and hear what the intuition is saying, not the logical mind, not the emotional self. I want you to listen to your intuition and your gut. If you are overworking yourself and running yourself down, Saturn retrograde and Jupiter sitting opposite of Venus is an awesome opportunity to really kind of kick back and put your feet up and relax for a minute. That's because Saturn is kind of slowing its roll down a minute. It's not pushing you so hard, and it gives you the chance to kind of take a deep breath and to exhale and release. However, if you are on the opposite side of that scale and you have not been working hard enough, or there's still lessons and things that you need to get done and to accomplish, then Saturn retrograde is going to, and Venus sitting opposite Jupiter is a bad thing and not something that you want to allow yourself to indulge in. It wants you to kind of push and to try, because if you don't, Saturn retrograde is going to reveal to you or punish you on missed opportunities and things that you dropped the ball on. So Saturn in general will hold you accountable for your actions. Jupiter and Venus opposite each other make us lazy and not really thinking about the future. We're only thinking about the now. We're thinking about pleasure in the moment, and that can be a problem. But again, listen to your intuition and know yourself. Know thyself. If you know yourself best, then you know how to work your magic and work things for your highest and greatest good. Even as I say this, it's 55555. So I'm seeing this energy of change and really kind of switching it up. If you are a hard worker like me, constantly going, constantly serving, sometimes taking a vacation is not that often, then during the first 2 to 3 days after Saturn goes retrograde are awesome times to take a break and to relax and kick your feet up. Maybe ask for help so that you can sit back and do something a little bit more enjoyable, or to tweak some things and use Saturn retrograde in that way so that you're not constantly overdoing it. You know, your work level being way too high. Saturn retrograde will also show you if you are truly working yourself to the bone. Even though Saturn rules hard work, it wants you to be responsible. It wants you to have balance. You can't be work all the time, because that stress will wear the body down, and that's good for no one. No matter how successful you are, it's really important that all of everything, all of energy is being balanced, even when it comes to running a business or working hard. Let's say you're studying for your finals, or it's the end of this semester, or whatever the case is. So just be mindful that on the 17th and 2 to 3 days following that, Jupiter, I don't know why I keep on leading off with Jupiter, but Venus opposing Jupiter can create this level of I'll put it off until tomorrow. I was like, don't put it off until tomorrow, because if you've been putting things off until tomorrow for a year, you are going to regret it so hard. The other thing that I want you to be aware of is the fact that Venus is also going to be trine Pluto this week on the 17th. And I love this because I see this as connecting with especially money. Money and finances is going to be everything. I want you guys to be aware of your taxes. It's interesting that Saturn goes retrograde on the 17th, which is tax day, at least here in the United States. Money, Venus in the sign of Taurus, Moon currently in the sign of Taurus. The sun is going to be moving into the sign of Taurus on the 20th. That's another thing. All of this kind of highlights luxury and money and spending and indulgence, and also eating and taking time to enjoy the pleasures, the senses. So I do see this this element of relaxation and allowing yourself to kind of slip, allowing things to kind of slip through your fingertips, not slip through your fingertips, but maybe enjoying things and pleasure and kicking back and relaxing for a week, if that's truly the case. Maybe for some of you guys, 50% of you guys are going to be using Saturn retrograde to kick back. But be honest with yourself. Absolutely be honest with yourself, because this is a general reading. I'm not looking at your chart personally. I'm closed to readings right now at the moment that I'm filming this recording. They'll be opening up later on. But for those of you guys that have been not doing all, and you know that you should be working hard, do not fall victim, or do not allow yourself to get caught in the web of laziness this week. It will come back to bite you in the butt with Saturn retrograde, because Saturn's actually working right now to kind of clean and sweep up those who are not doing what they should be. That being said, that relationships and commitments are going to be reassessed and reevaluated. If that is the case, and if you're looking at that within your own chart, it's almost like people are reconnecting and rekindling like their passion and their crush and love and romance and flirting. That's a direct result of the energy of Mars, drive, ambition, meeting up with Venus, love and relationships, but also Pluto, the planet of transformation and intensity and passion and soul, meeting with Venus this week in a nice trine on the 17th, the same time that Saturn goes retrograde. So this is an excellent time to think about relationships and to think about aesthetic and spending and money and finances and that type of stuff. Reevaluate your spending so that you are living a lifestyle that is more balanced, but also welcoming in more work in the way that it's balanced so that you can make more money. Work smarter, not harder. The other thing that I want you to be aware of is on the 18th, the sun is going to be sitting directly on top of Uranus. We saw a little bit of this with the Aries New Moon on the 16th, but we're really going to see it this week, later on this week on the 18th, especially the 18th, 19th, the 20th. Because sun sitting on top of Uranus is explosive, it's fireworks, it's abrupt change, things that we didn't even see coming for a lot of us. I want to encourage you to check to see what Aries rules within your chart. I look at my own chart multiple times because it's my chart and I'm an astrologer, but I can never remember what it rules, and I draw a blank. So I need to pull up my own chart because I'm really interested to see how this is going to manifest itself. I believe it's my 11th house, but either way, definitely check to see what Aries rules within your chart, because that house that it rules is going to probably most likely see the most change, the most fireworks, the most like, whoa, didn't see that coming. It's like a window opens up and a bird flies in, and you're just like, I don't know if this is a blessing or like something I need to take care of right now. So it'll be really interesting to see how that works. If it's you, maybe it's a shift and change in you. Maybe you feel, especially with the triggering of this Aries new moon, maybe you are feeling like, I need to break free. I need to get out of here. This is not serving me. I need more freedom. I need more independence. I need to explore. I want to discover. I want to achieve. I want to accomplish. I want to innovate. I have ideas. I want to share those ideas. So that's a way that this energy can really explode itself, especially since the new moon is now growing and the energy is growing. When on the 16th, which is the night that we had the new moon, it's almost like that energy lies dormant and we feel like a little tickle. Then as that energy grows, that energy grows and we feel it strongly, and then certain aspects kind of trigger that, and then we react. There's an impulsive reaction. That being said, the 20th is when the sun moves into the sign of Taurus. And I love this because this is a chance for us, again, to kind of slow down. Again, Saturn is retrograde and asking us to slow down. For some of you, 50% of you, this is a stop and smell the roses. For the other percent, it's more of hard work and putting the pedal to the metal and grinding, but being patient, being hardworking, being steady, being consistent. Slow and steady wins the race is always the motto of sun moving through the sign of Taurus. If you are working really hard, balance is everything. So you want to balance that off with good meals, good rest, good sleep, making sure that you're comfortable. Asking for help if you need it. That's another thing too. Especially me as a Virgo, I need to work on that. So that's one way that that energy can manifest itself. And on the 22nd, finally, last but not least, by any means, Pluto goes retrograde. Pluto is the planet of transformation, transition, death. I am absolutely 100% going to be working on my Pluto death oil again because that sucker keeps on selling out. As soon as I put it on the shelves, it's gone within an hour. But really why that is because so many people are welcoming transformation and transition in their life. So many more people are more knowledgeable and aware of the blessing that death brings into their lives, meaning not physical death of people, but death of certain situations. Whenever you see an ending, you will see the fertile ground of a new beginning. And that's what we're seeing with the Pluto retrograde, is it kind of brings back those old zombies, those old demons, those old dark shadows, the psychological self, our passions, our soul, our purpose, our karma, our subconscious. All of this stuff gets kind of drudged back up into our consciousness now, and we look at it again. And I know for many of you guys, you're like, Jess, that sounds terrifying, that sounds ridiculous, that sounds scary. It's really truly not, because if you always have to kind of take, as you're taking steps forward, you always kind of want to take a few steps back and to look at how far you've come. And we are making progress, you guys. Even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it, we truly are making progress and we're growing every single day. I know that you're feeling this because I'm seeing so many emails from you guys and comments on my Instagram post or on the YouTube, underneath the YouTube video saying, Jess, I'm feeling this. This has happened. I had a breakdown. And I'm telling you guys that this is what's happening, and we're making these changes in these areas of our lives that require growth. But it's really important that we do take a few steps back and at least look back for a moment and see what has been going on and what has been happening, so that we can tweak and to reconnect with our passions and reevaluate and to evolve even more, even deeper. So that's what Pluto retrograde is going to be designing, building for us to do. Of course, I'm going to make a video about this. Pluto is another one of my favorite planets because it brings in actual significant, impactful, soulful relationships and things, careers, our purpose, like our real reason for being here. It's very intense, but because it has so much weight and meaning to it versus superficial and just fun all the time. Like, I don't know about you, but I want more substantial, more intimate relationships and connections within my own personal life. And I also want to grow and evolve everything that it is that I touch. That's just me. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know down below how you're feeling. If you're excited for Pluto retrograde, if you're nervous for Pluto retrograde, and even Saturn retrograde, how has it been impacting you? And the biggest thing that I want you guys to let me know on is the 18th. What happens the days of the 18th? Are you feeling impulsive and reckless during this day, or does something actually like pop off in your world that you're like, that's what Jess was talking about? So until then, I love you guys. I'll be checking all of your comments and scrolling through and responding to the majority of them, because I love reading through what you guys are saying, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.